Narcissists react. If the criticism came from work, they won't say a thing. Remember, they are cowards. What they'll do, though, is they'll come home to their partners and take it out on the poor, unsuspecting, undeserving person. They'll bring their partners to the ground with one criticism after another. They'll walk around with a silent anger, refusing to tell the partner what's wrong, but leave them walking around on eggshells with their nerves shot, not knowing when they'll step on that landmine. In today's video, I decided to do a video on the vulnerabilities and the soft spots of a narcissist. In other words, their weaknesses. And I've listed 10. And they certainly don't want you knowing about these vulnerabilities, even though most of you are aware of them. But let's not just look at a list here. Let's talk about it. And also, tell me about your stories, your experiences. I'm Deanna King, for those who don't know me, and this channel is all about narcissism, codependency, and ways to heal from this abuse. So on that note, let's dive right in. The first one that I want to talk about is their fragile self-esteem, and fragile it is. Don't be fooled by their outer appearance, because it's what they count on. Despite their outward confidence, narcissists have a fragile sense of self-esteem that is easily bruised by criticism or rejection. They will be offended by the strangest things, such as you might not have looked directly into their eyes when they spoke. You just never know what will trigger them. So while many of you think somehow their anger is your fault, it isn't. These people are easily bruised and they're easily offended because they're weak. People will be impressed by some guy or girl that shows their strength, be it intelligence, popularity, or talent. But this person is a coward. They look down on everyone because they've convinced themselves how they're better than others. But take off that fancy outfit that they wore at the club to impress everyone while flashing their money like this rich, successful person, and let them return to their sad little apartments eating leftover macaroni and cheese, and you've got the idea of a false self. Everything that they show about themselves is a false self, including their private thoughts. This is the person who lies down at night and closes their eyes, fantasizing or daydreams that everyone is looking at them and worshiping them like they're all that. If they play a musical instrument, they dream themselves in a huge concert with everyone waving lighters and fainting. If they're intellects, they fantasize accepting an award. And of course, once you live with them, they won't be able to hide the fact that they aren't these rock stars or award winners. But that doesn't stop them from acting as though they somehow missed that chance because of some conspiracy. Because everyone and everything is to blame on whatever circumstance that they're in. The money is gone because the ex-wife took everything, or the ex-husband took everything, or they've decided to be in the world but not of it, choosing to renounce worldly possessions and live in peace. Meanwhile, it's just because they're broke. Or maybe you'll see them taking a stand against the government and refuse to pay taxes because it's unlawful. Meanwhile, it's a facade. The thing is they're full of it. And I'm not saying that there aren't people out there taking stands for their beliefs or renouncing the material world in search of a peaceful life. And I can respect that, absolutely. But when it comes from a narcissist, it's just another mask that they pick to cover up their failures. Anyway, let's look at the next weakness. Inability to handle criticism. Think about it. This supposedly big deal, special, all-knowing, all-powerful, all-adored, omnipotent narcissist is going to run home crying the minute someone criticizes them. I mean, does that sound omnipotent to you? They can't accept criticism, even when it's constructive criticism. Matter of fact, often it isn't even criticism, but merely a suggestion, and off the handle they go. They react defensively or aggressively when their behavior or abilities are questioned. Mature people or people with class don't react. They respond. Narcissists react. If the criticism came from work, they won't say a thing. Remember, they are cowards. What they'll do, though, is they'll come home to their partners and take it out on the poor, unsuspecting, undeserving person. They'll bring their partners to the ground with one criticism after another. They'll walk around with a silent anger, refusing to tell the partner what's wrong, but leave them walking around on eggshells with their nerves shot, not knowing when they'll step on that landmine. These are not nice people. Number 3 is their lack of empathy. I know that and you know that. But put them in a group setting or introduce them to someone that they might want to impress, like a coworker or a boss that they want to make an impression on, and they are just the pinnacle of empathy. If that person happens to be involved with the homeless, for example, they'll be attending soup kitchens to help out as much as they can. If their employers are involved in Aboriginal communities, they are in full-on support of the culture, posting whatever they can on the subject all over social media. They're dog lovers, they're cat rescuers, they're in support of youth groups, but meanwhile, never bother being parents to their own children. Narcissists do not empathize with anyone except the self. So if you find them crying after a heated argument, they aren't crying because the relationship has hit a hard place. They're crying because of how you made them feel. They're crying for themselves. So no empathy. It's all fake, 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 and that makes them weak. I was on this website called idiou.com, and I found something written on there regarding empathy, which I thought was a perfect explanation. It stated, empathy is the glue that holds relationships together. It is the ability to detect others' emotions and understand their perspective. Empathy is also the ability to listen, and that takes strength. Narcissists do not know how to listen. They only know how to self-preserve and defend like a child does when they got caught doing something. There you have it, right? Number 4 is manipulative behavior. Narcissists often resort to manipulative tactics to control and get what they want, whether through charm, guilt tripping, or other forms of emotional manipulation. Having to manipulate to get something is like someone stealing money rather than working for it. Manipulation is a cowardly form of control that preys on vulnerability and undermines trust in relationships, leaving emotional wreckage in its wake. The opposite of manipulation is authentic communication rooted in honesty, empathy, and respect. Mature adults navigate life by fostering genuine connections, expressing themselves openly, and valuing mutual trust. They prioritize active listening, understanding others' perspectives, and seeking solutions through collaboration rather than coercion. By building healthy relationships based on trust and transparency, mature adults create supportive environments where everyone's needs and boundaries are respected. It takes strength to be mature. Maturity involves the ability to handle difficult situations with grace, navigate complex emotions with resilience, and make responsible decisions even in the face of adversity. And here's why maturity is a sign of strength. Emotional resilience. Mature individuals have the strength to withstand challenges and setbacks without succumbing to overwhelming emotions. They're able to regulate their emotions effectively and maintain a sense of calm and stability, even in stressful situations. They have self-control. Maturity involves the ability to exercise self-control and discipline, particularly in situations where impulses or emotions can lead to negative outcomes. Mature individuals can resist temptations and make decisions based on long-term goals rather than short-term gratification. Empathy and compassion. Mature individuals have the strength to empathize with others and show compassion even when it may be difficult or inconvenient. They're able to understand and validate the feelings of others, fostering deeper connections and healthier relationships. That's why they're more successful. Oh, and this one, accountability. Maturity entails taking responsibility for one's actions and their consequences. Mature individuals have the strength to admit when they're wrong, apologize when necessary, and make amends to those that they may have harmed. They have wisdom. Maturity brings with it a depth of wisdom and insight that comes from life experience. Mature individuals have the strength to learn from their mistakes, grow from their experiences, and apply that knowledge to future decisions and actions. Overall, maturity is a sign of inner strength, resilience, and character. It requires courage, self-awareness, and a commitment to personal growth and development. So they are strong where the narcissist is weak. Another area where the narcissist shows weakness is in their need for validation, and that's number 5. Narcissists crave constant validation and admiration from others to maintain their inflated sense of self-importance and worth. A strong person doesn't need validation from the external world because they know who they are from within. If someone doesn't agree with something that they believe in, for example, it bears no effect on them. In other words, it doesn't break them, but it'll break the narcissist. Number 6 is shallow relationships. Narcissists struggle to form deep, meaningful connections with others due to their self-centered focus and inability to empathize with others' needs and emotions. Mature individuals have the strength to adapt to change and navigate uncertainty with flexibility and resilience. They're able to adjust their plans and perspectives in response to new information or circumstances rather than clinging rigidly to outdated beliefs or expectations. With a narcissist, it's about control. It's about controlling the partner to serve them in the ways that they want. And it's control regarding how the world views them. The perfect partner, the house, prestige, reputation, etc. There isn't anything real about this relationship. Matter of fact, it isn't a relationship. It's an accommodation for the narcissist. The narcissist claims to know everything, but they have no clue as to how to have a loving connection with another. So for someone who claims to be capable of everything, they are incapable. Number 7 is fear of abandonment. Underneath their grandiose facade, narcissists harbor a deep-seated fear of abandonment or rejection, driving their need for constant attention and approval. The narcissist who bullies their partner with yelling, name-calling, and threats and tries to show themselves all-powerful and uncaring is the exact opposite of powerful. They are terrified of rejection, and that's why they bully. By using tactics such as bullying, yelling, and name-calling, they assert dominance and manipulate their partner's emotions to ensure compliance with their wishes. This control gives them a sense of security and reinforces their belief in their own superiority. They're terrified of being alone and losing the attention and validation that they crave. And as a result, they will go to great lengths to prevent their partners from leaving them, even if it means resorting to abusive behavior to maintain control. This toxic behavior is designed to keep their partner trapped in the relationship and ensure their own emotional needs are met, regardless of the harm that it inflicts on the partner's well-being. Number 8, difficulty maintaining long-term relationships. Narcissists' self-centered behavior and inability to empathize with others' needs strain relationships and make it challenging for them to maintain long-term relationships. And that's not just a personal relationship. We're talking about work-related relationships, also friends, etc. And if they do end up staying with their partners in the relationship, it's often because the partner has checked out. The partner just puts up with their behavior, but has lost all respect for them. But they just don't know how to succeed in maintaining long-term relationships. The partner will be doing all the work in trying to make the relationship work, but eventually enough is enough where they end up getting radical acceptance and they're out. Narcissists believe that they can succeed at anything and everything, but they just don't have what it takes to make a relationship work. The 9th weakness is their fear of being exposed. So behind the facade of grandiosity and superiority, narcissists harbor a deep-seated fear of being exposed for who they truly are. They are really afraid of that. And this fear stems from their fragile sense of self-esteem and the inherent insecurity that lies beneath their bravado. To protect themselves from the possibility of being seen as flawed or inadequate, Narcissists go to great lengths to maintain their carefully crafted image of perfection. They use manipulation, control, and emotional abuse as tactics to control their environment and prevent others from seeing their vulnerabilities. Criticism or rejection threatens to shatter the illusion that they've created, leading to intense feelings of shame, anger, and fear. And as a result, narcissists, they become defensive, they become hostile, or even aggressive when they sense that their facade is being threatened. And their fear of being exposed drives them to seek constant validation and admiration from others as a means of propping up their fragile self-esteem and maintaining the illusion of superiority. However, despite their efforts to conceal their vulnerabilities, the fear of exposure continues to haunt narcissists, driving much of their behavior and interactions with others. They are in constant fear of that shoe dropping because of all the people that they exploit. And the list goes on with them, on those that they have hurt. And so the fear is always lingering, never knowing when they're going to be exposed. A strong person doesn't have these fears because strong people are accountable. Narcissists are not. A strong person admits their flaws and shortcomings, so they feel no need to hide. The narcissist, not so much. Unable to admit flaws is a huge weakness. Being afraid of being exposed is like hiding behind their own shadow, and that's basically what they're doing. And this makes them cowards. So the 10th and final weakness that I want to bring up is their lack of self-awareness. Narcissists lack self-awareness and struggle to recognize the impact of their behavior on others, leading to repeated patterns of dysfunction in their relationships and interactions. And this is their downfall. Narcissists refuse to look in the mirror. They refuse to accept that, like all humans living on this earth, are flawed in some form or other. Being flawed is how we learn. It's how we grow. We learn from our mistakes and we become better people. We learn humility and we expand in our hearts. We learn forgiveness and we move relationships forward. We bring life to life. But when it comes to narcissists, their refusal to look within deems them incapable of ever experiencing any kind of expansion, unfortunately. And that, sadly, is a huge weakness. So, in hearing this today, I hope it can help some of you out there see them in a new light, a dimmer light. They aren't all that, but you are. Remember that. So, thank you for watching, and we shall see you in the next video. Bye for now.